morning, madam and friends. I'm Hu Kam Ying. My metric number is 285049. Now, I represent my part, which are consumer choice and consumer demand. The consumer choice is the study about how a person makes rational decisions when confronted with scarce resources. People will make decisions every day. However, the decisions are constrained by limited resources, with trading off one thing against another. According to consumer choice, the people will make decisions based on comparing costs and benefit when they face trade-off to increase their utility. In addition, consumer demand is the willingness and ability of consumer to buy a quantity of good or service at a particular time based on the consumer desires. A demand schedule shows the relationship between price and demand over a hypothetical range of prices. There are two different types of demand, which are aggregate demand and individual demand. The aggregate demand is defined as the total or average demand of consumer, while individual demand is defined as the demand of a particular consumer. This is all my part. Now, I will hand in the presentation to Anisha Ira. Thank you.
Next is utility concept. So generally, utility is to measure the satisfaction an individual gets from any consumption of the goods or services. It is a measurement of usefulness that can show how satisfied a person can be after experiencing any goods. However, it can be different with other consumer because it is measured using individual preferences. Moreover, it also keeps changing for the same consumer due to change of desire. For example, there are two consumers, consumer A and consumer B. First, consumer A prefer to read physical books, while consumer B prefer to reading e-books. But then, with change of desire, consumer A is now prefer to reading e-books because he thinks it will benefit him even more. In utility theory, there are two principal theories, which is cardinal and utility, ordinal utility. Firstly, cardinal utility derived from consuming good that can be expressed numerically and counted using utils. It is quantitative since it is numerical approach. It is also called measurable because cardinal approach tells a person to compare which good will let him receive the greater level of utility from another good. Thus, he can compare which good is better to consume. This theory based on marginal utility analysis, for example, is the amount of chocolate consumed. Maybe the more chocolate consumed by a person, the less satisfaction level received because he is already full with chocolate. Last is ordinal utility, derived from consuming good that cannot be expressed numerically, and it's based on ranking or preferences. It is also called qualitative approach and measured by goods or services that give more utility but not utils. This theory based on indifference curve analysis, and for instance, a consumer decides to have a Japanese cuisine for breakfast rather than Korean cuisine because having a Japanese breakfast will give him better utility. There is no values or numerical data that can show why he prefers Japanese more than Korean. Thus, ordinal utility is not convenient as cardinal utility because it is no need for actual measure of satisfaction.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Fauzi bin Rasbin, 284976. I will continue the presentation with the methodology and respondent background. For the methodology, we collect data by using questionnaire which divided into three parts. Part A, we collect data about respondents' backgrounds such as gender, ethnicity and age. And for Part B, we collect data about respondents' opinion. And for Part C, we collect data about respondents' behavior by comparing two products. For the respondent background, the total number of respondents involved was 15 people. 40% of them were male and 60% of them were female. This shows that majority of the respondents involved are female. Based on the pie chart, a total of 7 respondents, equivalent to 46.7%, consists of Malay ethnicity, while respondents from Chinese ethnicity numbered as many as 6 respondents, equivalent to 40%. The other 13.3% are from other ethnicity. This indicates that the majority of those who answered this questionnaire are from Malay ethnicity, as they are the largest group in Malaysia. Based on the graph, a total of 10 respondents, or 66.67% of the respondents who answered this questionnaire were under 30 years old. 20% or 3 respondents who answered this questionnaire were from age 40 years old to 50 years old. Respondents from group age 31 years old to 40 years old and above 50 years old each recorded 1 respondent respectively. This shows that majority of the respondents were under 30 years old.
My name is Nur Shahira binti Muhammad Isa, metric number 284997. I would like to present my part on consumer behavior 1. So, for point 1, the purchase of goods depending on their brands, we can see that no one strongly disagree with the statement, and most of them chose moderate 33.33% and followed by agree and strongly agree 26.67%. We can conclude that most of us still prefer to purchase goods depending on their brands. Next, the willingness to buy branded goods despite high prices. As we can see at the figure shown, most have chosen agree 40% and disagree 33.33%. Overall, the purchase of branded goods at high prices is based on one's willingness. Next is an increase in income leading to the increasing in purchases of goods. The highest one was agree, 40%, and followed by moderate and strongly agree with the same amount. This coincides with the assumption of ceteris paribus. For point 4, the low prices of goods leading to the increasing in purchases of goods. Most of them were choosing strongly agree 53.32% and agree 26.67%. It means that the lower the price of goods, the more goods are purchased. It coincides with the assumption of ceteris paribus too. Next, the preference of buying goods online rather than in person. Most have chosen disagree, which is 5 out of 50 respondents, and followed by agree, 4 respondents. This shows that buying goods online is based on one's willingness, as it has pros as well as cons. The last one is the purchase of goods online is more convenient and cost-effective from consumer overview. It shows that most agree with this, some less, and disagree for certain reasons, including the high risk in buying goods online.
I will talk about consumer behavior too. The study was conducted with the goal of determining price factors that affect brands' products, which is McDonald's Good A and KFC, which is Good B. This figure shows summary response for the statement. If the price of Good A fell by 50%, I will purchase it. 8 respondents, which is 53.33%, strongly agree with the consumer behavior, and 26.67% respondents agree. It can be concluded that both goods are easily to substitute each other as long as provide the same level of satisfaction. Next, this figure shows summary response for the statement. If the price of Good A is high, I will still purchase Good A. Majority of respondents are disagree. Out of 15 respondents, 40% of respondents disagree with this statement and 26.67% strongly disagree. Price and quantity demand have an inverse relationship. Economics refers to the law of demand. If the price rises, the quantity demand fails. We can see that majority respondents will not purchase Good A when price Good A increase. Besides, this figure shows if the price of Good B rises by 50%, I will purchase Good A. We can see that 46.67% of respondents strongly agree and 20% agree this statement. This result shows that Good A and B is substitute good. Substitute presents the consumer with alternative choices and have a positive cross-elasticity of demand. From this figure, 10 respondents agree with this statement. If my income increases 50%, I will purchase Good A. This result shows when the level of income increases, the demand for purchase Good A also increases. And this gives a positive value of income ratio with demand. Good A is normal good. We'll see an increase in demand if consumer income rises. Based on this figure, it can conclude that 33.33% stand neutral, 4 respondents disagree and 1 respondent strongly disagree with this statement. If my income increased by 50%, I will purchase both Good A and B. We can see that some consumers purchase both of goods, while some consumers will not purchase both goods. Because everyone has their own personal taste and preference, so consumers will purchase the things they like, such as either Good A or B, to get the utility satisfactions that they want.
Last but not least, for part B, we can conclude that most consumers have a great satisfaction with branded product. Most consumers, they tend to purchase the good when their income increase or the price of the good is low. Other than that, online shopping was seen as a race to the buyers, and most men prefers online shopping compared to women because women usually needs to evaluate the goods by themselves before they purchase it. For part C, we can conclude that good A and good B are substitute to each other. When the price of a good increase, most consumers will not purchase it, which shows that it has inverse relationship. Most consumers will purchase good A if price of good B increase, which shows that it has positive cross-elasticity demand. The rise of level of income will increase the demand of good A as it gives a positive value of income ratio with demand. When their income increase, some of the consumers will not buy both good A and good B, while some of them will buy both goods as they want to get the utility satisfaction as they have tastes and preferences of goods.